and number two, on the part of parents in the district. Let me talk about parents in the district first. We have a tremendous amount of respect for our parents in the district. We know and understand in most cases what their circumstances are. That they're doing the best they can. This economy is really rough, and we're here to service their kids and to get them the education they need to get a better life. What we have been encouraging and will continue to encourage is just get involved in the schools. Just stop in. Say hello to the principal, check in, walk around, ask to see a few classrooms. And then once you see what the school environment is like, and you're feeling a little more comfortable with that, then get involved. Ask what you can do to help. Volunteer, because we need you. Teachers can't do this alone. Even the bus drivers, the custodians, everybody involved in a child's day, from the time they get on the bus until the time they get off the bus. We can't do this alone. We need the community's help. And so we're welcoming the community into our schools and into the educational system. I think unfortunately they're a little resistant because perhaps they've had a negative experience with the public school system. And they don't want to come back and they're, nah, I'm not going over there, and you've got my child for the day, and hopefully you won't have to call me, and that's just the way it should be. You take care of them today, and I'll do what I need to do at night. But really, we've got to get involved. We've got to get involved in the schools. The group of professionals and public workers at this point, and I'm not just referring to Senate Bill 5, that have decided to say, hold on a minute. What's going on here is not right. I envision a revolution of sorts. I think that school teachers being lumped in with firefighters and teachers and other public employees, we know our value. I certainly know the value of the fire department and the police department where I live, and I think that because we're all three in this battle together, in this situation together, it's a good thing at this point, because we can stand up together and almost elevate ourselves, which is what needs to happen. And I think that momentum will continue, and those kind of public workers that are essential to life in America will continue to be elevated as we go.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to we won't ever be able to fire our way into prosperity, will we?
Correct. and you can't cut your way to a balanced budget either. Yeah. There's got to be some reduction in the spending there too, and some real careful look at what it is you're spending on.
After a while, so much cutting spending becomes a almost self-fulfilling prophecy. We have to cut more because you're losing more, and people aren't making money, they can't pay taxes, and it's a big snowball effect. I think that's what we're seeing in the United States right now, is and it comes down to priorities.
Yeah, a city, for example, that offers no services isn't going to attract residents.
Yeah.
And without residents, it can't offer services, so you're exactly right, it's a cycle.
Lastly, I'm going to let you go because I know you got a busy day. How hard do you think it would be to get legislation instituted to teach the Socratic method to elementary school students? And someone told me the other day, said, man, that would take care about most of the problem right there. We just taught kids the Socratic method, then they take it naturally on their own. Yeah,
that's not something I've ever thought of. To introduce legislation on that, I think, at least initially, we'd probably be laughed out. But the theory behind it, I think, is sound.
Sure, I mean, that's what law schools, it's the basis of everything they teach. It's just questioning everything.
Absolutely.
And I think some of this revolution between education professionals is coming from people who are employing the old Socratic method and getting back to the latest thing that isn't always necessarily
beginning to question. Absolutely, beginning to question. Now, I do want to stress on that because we're also at a historic time here in the Dayton Public Schools. There has never been as much collaboration between central administration and the Dayton Education Association as there is now. We are heavily involved in reform efforts to streamline the district and make the curriculum what it should be, and get away from some of those old practices of, here's a new program, let's try it, that didn't work. Here's another one, let's try it, that didn't work. So we are doing the best we can, and everybody needs to know that nobody in this organization is holding the Dayton Board of Education or the Dayton Superintendent responsible for these cuts. We know where they've come from, and that's where our attention needs to be concentrated.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
You.
I appreciate it.
You do a good interview.
Oh,
good questions.
Well, you know.
Best Mexican food in all of Dayton, Ohio is Taqueria Mixteca at 1609 East 3rd Street. Give them a call, 258-2654. 94% of the people like it on urbanspoon.com, and you